Gender equality is now, more than ever, the hottest topic in the financial world. Where does the financial sector stand on the promotion of gender diversity in the workplace? According to a recent McKinsey study in banking, men still make up the majority of the managerial roles. The article states that, in North America, women account for over half of the entry-level workforce, while they only represent 18% of C-level positions in financial services. On the other hand, men make up more than 80% of the latter figure. For companies not to think to bring any women, they are literally saying no to half of the available talent. As Jenny Johnson from Franklin Templeton Investments had said, anybody who doesn't think about how to bring in more women won't be able to compete because they're just cutting out half the talent from their opportunity set. However, the issue has further problems. The lack of women in top management positions is the result of a perpetual cycle. Young women do not have role models to look up to and will not have the desire to reach those positions. On the other hand, in the health sector, the situation is completely different indeed. Indeed, the healthcare industry appears to be among the best for working women. As a matter of fact, this industry is where women are better represented at all levels in corporate America overall. In this paper, we aim to find the reasons for gender discrimination in the fields of finance and healthcare.
And now I'll be talking about how our research question is related to our course. So in class, we've touched upon plenty of ethical issues and so many cases related to various matters that come under the umbrella of the issues we took in class. And since our question is aimed at exploring how gender difference plays a role in corporate recruitment decisions and the level of discrimination that is different within each industry, therefore we chose from the class material what we thought were the most relevant topics that could be the ones having a real causation effect to our research. To start off, first topic we took is organizational ethics. Organizational ethics are principles and standards by which business operate. They are demonstrated in a company by the acts of fairness, compassion, integrity, honor, and responsibility. It is crucial for the whole company to understand and work according to the set ethical standards in a firm that should be built upon a fair framework. However, the issue of gender biasness preferences in many of the businesses can still be found. This means that there is a hole in the system that should be fixed. Because in such situation, a uniform treatment of all employees is not being implemented as it should be. The unfairness and the favoritism in the various aspects of the company are an unethical issue. The other topic we chose was cultural relativism. Another factor that could also be considered as a contributing factor to the discrimination worldwide is cultural relativism. Due to the fact that women being active in the workplace or having a leading position could be viewed from different lenses from one place to another. In some countries, women's rights and participations in the community are much higher than in another. However, men tend to maintain their status regardless of the culture he is in.
A growing body of research show that increased access to and use of women's financial service can have both economic and social benefits. Several studies have also demonstrated the positive influence of gender diversity on business performance. However, while gender equality has become an accepted concept, in reality, gender gaps still exist to the detriment of ideas, both in terms of wage and career prospects. Christine Lagarde, president of the European Central Bank, said, "If Lehman's brothers had been called Lehman sisters, the world could have been a different place today." According to a study made by the Harvard Business School, senior roles in venture capital, private equity, and hedge fund are only occupied by 9, 6, and respectively 11% of women. According to the same study, gender equality in the financial field is lower than in other sectors. While it has been shown that men and women start their career in the financial industry in parity, women stay underrepresented in C-level positions where males dominate. Since 2016, the proportion of women on executive committee and board of director has increased from 16 to 20 and from 19 to 23% worldwide. This increase is partly due to the effect of binding laws of women representation on executive committees, and companies' effort to make themselves more attractive to attract more female profile. But despite this slight increase, these figures are still not very promising. In the financial sector, one has to turn to other specialties to find women. They are more present in HR with 58%, marketing with 46%, or legal services with 35%. They're only 25% in auditing, 17% in finance, and 30% in new technology services. Worse, the study Women in Financial Service point to an apparent regression. Fewer women are occupying CEO positions. In this case, 6% of them are at the head of general management. On the other hand, another stumbling block identified by the study is that while women are not very present in the financial service, they are also neglected as clients. They are not giving the same loans and conditions as men, a major strategic error according to the author of the report. This author has been saying, by failing to meet or even try to understand their expectation, companies in the sector are clearly shooting themselves in the foot, and with good reason. By misjudging women as customer, companies in the sector will miss out of 700 billions in business opportunities.
To have an overview of the individual opinion of gender diversity in the workplace, and more specifically in the health and finance sector, we sent a survey to our colleagues, friends, and family. Due to time constraint, we collected 35 answers, half men and half women. Most of our respondents were interested or working in finance and consulting. 94.3% of the total respondents say that there is gender inequality in the workplace, and interestingly, the few respondents saying no were women. 59.4% say that they never experienced it, and the people who experienced it were not only women. More than 50% of our respondents believe that the ratio of female-male in the financial sector was approximately 1 female for 3 male, and 31% evaluated it as an even bigger gap. While in the health sector, 65% perceived the ratio to be 1 female for every 2 male. But here again, our respondents were more business-related work. 97% say that they believe that gender discrimination varies according among the women employed. There is again discrimination in form of gender wage gap. For example, Stacey McCann won a gender discrimination case against the global banking and financial services company BNP Paribas in 2019. She claimed that she was paid significantly less than her male colleague at BNP. She was recruited with a salary of £120,000, while her male colleague hired for the same job title position only a couple months later was paid £160,000. That same co-worker obtained £237,000 in bonuses over a 5-year period, while she got only £33,000, which is 7 times less. Sadly, this is not a one-time case. We can also observe the case of Bank of America, which was sentenced to pay $39 million for gender-biased deal because 4,800 current and former female financial advisors claimed that they were paid less than men, deprived of handling their fair share of lucrative accounts, and that they faced retaliation if they complained about it.
Has been showed in the exhibit retrieved from the Women in Financial Service of 2010 report made by Oliver Wyman, we can see that the number of women representation in executive committees in major financial service firms is increasing since 2016. The role with lower representation of women are the finance, CTO, strategy, and risk and actuarial roles. The role with the higher representation of women are HR, marketing, legal, and compliance. On the other hand, we notice that only 6% of CEOs in the financial service firms are women.
McKinsey and Lean surveyed more than 10,000 employees at 11 different healthcare companies, and they interviewed 10 senior executives in North America. From the research, healthcare appears to be one of the best industries for working women in several dimensions. Women hold executive management positions at the highest levels, including Emma Wamsley, who was the first woman to lead a global pharma company. She was the CEO of GlaxoSmithKline. Gail Boudreau, she's the president and CEO of Anthem. And Laura Deitch, she's president and CEO of Biotrace. There are also many examples of women in healthcare gaining worldwide recognition for their achievements, such as Frances Arnold, who in 2018 became the 5th woman to win the Nobel Prize. Women are the primary consumers and decision makers in the healthcare market, and they make up almost 50% of the workforce. Also, nurses are more than 80% in women, and they comprise a large part of the workforce in healthcare providers in the States. For example, women are better represented at all levels than in other sectors. They are promoted at similar rates to men, and they report similar career satisfaction. As the strategy lead at a large biotech firm they interviewed said, people come into the healthcare industry because they really care, and these people are disproportionately female. One worrying point is the decreasing participation of women at vice president level or higher. At entry level, women make up roughly more than 60% of line roles, while at C-suite level, women comprise only about 29% of the workforce. There are 3 emerging problems that lead to the representation decline in healthcare. There are first structural challenges, which are such as hiring and advancement practices. Second, institutional barriers, allowing underlying biases to persist. And third, the impact of daily work environment not promoting an inclusive and supportive experience for all employees. Companies need to better understand and address these challenges in order to promote diversity. In order to address promotion bottlenecks, identifying and groom women within the organization to compete for senior positions. This form of sponsorship can be fostered through training. But this in itself is not sufficient. Unconscious biases can have a significant impact on who's hired and who's not. It's critical that companies put safeguards in place to reduce bias, such as using automated resume screening tools, requiring diverse slates of candidates, and setting clear, consistent evaluation criteria before the process begins. Furthermore, it's important to track the outcomes. Otherwise, it's impossible for a company to know if it's treating candidates fairly. Many companies track outcomes in hiring to check for gender bias, which is a good start, but far fewer track the compounding effect of gender and racial bias, which disadvantages women of color. And companies are far less likely to track bias in performance reviews, for example, to see if women's communication styles are criticized more often than men's, yet performance reviews play a major role in who gets promoted and who doesn't.
Fortune 500 companies are moving towards a more diverse environment in the workforce by changing and adjusting their corporate culture to a more modern point of view. They understood that they should move by learning from their mistakes, that not having a diverse environment leads to a waste of talent. Furthermore, this will create an upward trend of the amount of company creating equal opportunity jobs and opportunities, which will create a spillover effect in the futures year. What's the spillover effect? The spillover effect is going to be that women will have more role models in different industries and sectors. However, it could be discussable that by offering diversity-related opportunities where only a certain type of talent can apply, such as ethnicity-related one to gender-related one, does not actually provide equal opportunity and does not follow the principle of meritocracy.